Hi, it's Robbie from Southern California, and today we're going to talk about ant moats. Don't buy them because they're too expensive. They're usually so small and they dry out within hours. And then guess what? Those ants that could not get through before just cross on by and come on in. When you make them from a soda bottle, they stay out of your hummingbird feeders, which creates happy hummingbirds for you. But here's the thing today, which is exciting. We're going to take one soda bottle and we're going to make 2 ant moats out of them. That's right, 2. And you're going to have something for your plants afterwards as well if you're growing seedlings. If not, do what you want with it. But let's go in. I am going to show you today how to take one soda bottle, make 2 ant moats. And aren't they cute? Because I add a little bit of touches of color to them. Well, not for the birds, more for me, but you know what? It makes it secure, and these things last for years. But look how big they are. You know what? I digress. Let's get in. Let's make them because you're going to need them. So today we're going to make an ant moat, and it's going to be far better than what you can buy, and I'll tell you why in a minute. That is my flash fish. It is my electricity at my hands. I have power, and I plug in my soldering iron so I don't have to get on the floor to do it. And plus, I can turn my soldering iron on and off as needed. Now, this is a plain old soda bottle. You can use any soda bottle you want. Now, I'm taking my hot soldering iron, and what I'm doing here is I'm slowly going through, and on the edge, on the end, I should say, where the cap is, we're going to make a little cup. So we're going to take off some of the bottle. We don't need the whole bottle. Now, you could just cut it with the scissors if you want, and I'll show you that pretty soon. But with this soldering iron, you can slowly push on it, and look, it's literally cutting through the plastic. So there's no scissors to use here. I wouldn't use a razor blade. Some people do. I'd be real careful on that, but it just zips around 1, 2, 3, and look, not only did we cut it, but the top is really soft and nice, and it's not sharp at all. So now we've got this. We're going to make 2 of them, though, out of that same bottle, and I'll show you the trick on the second one, because everybody knows how to do this. I've done this for years, and I know everybody's now copying it and doing it, but we're going to make a second one. Now, as far as the hook, where we're going to hang our hummingbird feeder, we can use any wire we want. This is a real stiff wire, but you can use any wire. Anything that will support and hold a hummingbird feeder is fine, because there's no real weight coming from the ant moat we're going to make. The only weight is going to be the water that's in there. Otherwise, the wire goes all the way through, and it's just kind of dangling in place is basically what it's going to do. Now, we're going to make a hole on the bottom there. And we're taking the soldering iron. Make the smallest hole you can. And then we're going to push through the wire. Whatever wire of your choice. If you got an old wire hanger, you can use that. You got some thin wire around the house, it doesn't matter. I wouldn't use a bread tie. It's not strong enough. And cut it a little longer, because this one's almost too short, but I'm going to use it anyways. So cut more than what you need and then cut off afterwards, because once you start, you don't want to start all over again. Now I'm going to make a hook on both sides, because we got to hook it somewhere and then hook the hummingbird feeder underneath, right? So I kind of curled this one so it's not sharp. And we're going to start with one side, because we can't make our hook and then slide it through. It won't work. So we make our hook for one side, just like that, and then we can slide it through. And it doesn't matter if you're going to work for top or bottom first. Makes no difference. A hook is a hook. Both ends will have a hook. Now we can twist the other end, and we can do it, differently. You can make a little hoop on the end like I did, or you can just turn it, and I'll show you later how we can make it in case it's sharp. If you think it is, we can fix that as well. So now we're making our hook. So we're going to have our hook and give it a good deep hook. So if the hummingbird feeder swings, it's not going to fall off. So it's really hanging on there good. Because if you make a real shallow little hook, it might just slip off. There it is. Now what we need to do is make it stay in place. Make sure it's high enough, on the top so you can hang it somewhere, but on the bottom you can also hang your hummingbird feeder, see? So I could have gone a little longer on this, and next time I will. Okay, now what we're going to do is we're going to start off, we're going to do this in 2 steps. We're going to put some glue on the inside in that cap, the soda bottle cap. We're going to fill it up. Try not to put your hand underneath, because if you made the hole a little too big, the hot glue could come through and it could burn you. No, I don't know that from experience. So I know a lot of other things from experience. Now I'll tell you, there's a way we can set this super fast. Get the hook where you want and run over to the sink and run it under cold water. Cold water will always set your hot glue really fast. And look, we're done. It's completely set, but we're not done with this. I want to do a little bit more because it could come loose, and I want to make sure it's in there really good and it doesn't leak. Now, I got these stones from Dollar Tree, the glass ones, but you can also use rocks, whatever you want, but we're going to use the glass stones. Why? Because I have them. And what we're going to do is we're going to put glue on the inside. Again, more glue, it's cheap. And then we're going to fill it with the glass stones on the bottom only. It really does help hold everything in place so nothing comes loose. It supports the wire a little bit and it just works. It's just, I've been doing this for a long time. I've even put little figurines in there and make it look cute. It doesn't matter. It looks like a little aquarium when I'm done with it. But today we're just going to use the glass stones. And I use this Sure Bonder. This is waterproof. When it sticks to plastic, it stays there. It doesn't peel off. That's one of the best hot glue sticks brands you can get. Now we're going to just dump it on top. And it's hot right now, so it's going to dribble past the glass stones. It's going to go into the cap where we already glued it. It might soften it a little. Don't worry about it if it does. And if you hit the sides, you may warp your soda bottle a little bit. It doesn't hurt if you do. Don't worry about it. As long as it's holding water, that's all we care about. And now, there it is. And you want to make sure it kind of holds in place. Is that not cute? It'll look pretty with water in it. Now, we never put oil in this. Some people put oil and vinegar and all that for the ants. No, no, no. Because hummingbirds sometimes drink out of it. And if you feel it sharp, you can take a hot soldering iron, just run it along the edge. That will make it soft on the top if your soda bottle is sharp. But this isn't because we cut it differently. Is that not cool? We're done. Now we're going to make another one with the bottom. We could do two things with this. Now, there just so happens there's a line there, so I can see the line. I'm just going to do this quick. We're going to cut all the way down, and we're going to go to that line that they put there, the soda company, for whatever reason. I don't know, but it's good. And we're going to cut along that line all the way around. And you're saying, wait a minute, there's no cap there. What's going to hold it? But I'm going to show you what's going to hold it and support it. Because without a cap, there's no support. I'll tell you that. It will come loose. So I'm going to show you my secret. So now we're cutting it. And again, don't forget, you can always go around with the hot soldering iron and soften the top a little bit. Now this you can use like a cloche. You can, in other words, if you're planting something in a flower pot later on, it's like a little open greenhouse. So don't throw that away. It works really good, especially to protect seedlings. Now, this is a cap off my milk carton. Those wonderful caps they put on those cardboard milk cartons that you've got to unscrew and pull that cork out. And sometimes the cork doesn't come out and you're fighting with it. Okay, you don't want to hear that. All right, we won't talk about that today. So anyways, I save all those caps because I do a lot of things with caps. And now we're going to cut another piece of wire. And you're saying, but Robbie, the cap isn't going to screw on. Oh, it isn't going to screw on, is it? Well, it doesn't matter because I'm going to show you what we're going to do. We're going to take the soldering iron and we're going to turn on the flash fish, which I did, and heat it up. And then we're going to start making holes in the cap. But the cap doesn't screw on. Well, we'll wait till the soldering iron gets hot and I'll show you what we're going to do. I'm curling the edge on here, the end, and I'm going to make my hook. Again, we're doing the same procedure we did on the first one. We're going to make the hook, and do make it the way it will work for you, because I don't know how your hangers are. You may want it super long. You want to, maybe your hummingbird feeder is way too high in the air. So make it the length you want. Now, let's see if it's hot enough. We're going to make a hole in the center of the bottom of the soda bottle. Little hole. Doesn't have to be a big hole. We don't want this thing swimming around. We want the wire to go through and stay in place. We want to make sure we can get that wire in there. Now we're going to make a hole in the center of the cap that is not going to screw on, right? I know you're telling me it's not going to screw on. I'm going to make it screw on. Well, not exactly. Okay, now we've got a hole in the cap, and we've got a hole. We're going to turn off the flash fish that I absolutely love. I have nothing to do with this other than I buy stuff and I love things and I love sharing it with you. I just love my flash fish, the power unit. Okay, so now we're going to take the wire, again, whatever wire you want to use. Oh, I just love watching the hummingbirds out the window. We're going to put the wire through the cap, open end up, facing me, as you can see. And oh, I made that hole tight. That's good. And we're going to pull it through. But Robbie, it doesn't screw on. I know, but let me tell you something. It is the greatest support. We're going to put glue on the bottom of the soda bottle, okay? Not the cap. And we're going to push the cap there. It's going to hold. It's fantastic. Look at that. Now we need to set this up like we did the other one, and we will in a few minutes. So we're kind of deciding here, you know, how long do I really want this and where do I want it? Now I am also holding it because, like I said, this glue, this hot glue, this really bonds plastic. It's fantastic. So I'm making sure it's setting up. So now we've got the cap, which is just extra support, and we're going to start filling the cap with hot glue. It doesn't have to be full to the top or anything, but that's going to give it really a good strength on the bottom of the soda bottle because you've got the glue underneath where the cap is, and now we've got the cap glued on, and look at that. We've now made 2 ant moats out of 1 soda bottle. Back to my glass, beautiful flat marbles. Those stones we've got. And again, you can use rocks if you want to go in your yard, collect rocks, wash them before you do it, and it will glue beautiful rocks. Now we're just going to load hot glue all over, and you know, it could warp, so just keep an eye out. We want to do this quick, and we're going to push the stones in. The stones, again, give it a little bit support. And I'll tell you, these things last for years. I've made some of these, you know, ant moats out of soda bottles that are years old because you're not leaving them out all year. You're going to take them in the winter, even though I may not. And I use them only when the ants are marching. That's what I call it, because they tend to really come out in the fall because they're looking for food to put away for the winter. So this is the time for us to start getting our ant moats ready. Now we're just kind of putting the stones in, and you can use aquarium gravel if you wanted to, whatever you want. But this is what I've got, so I'm going to use the glass stones. And I think we're running out. I'm going to need another one. And this is just great. I mean, you buy these things for like 10 to 20 bucks, and they hold this little tiny bit of water. Look how much water this holds. I mean, this is big enough for a bird bath. The birds come in sometimes. You'll see them take a drink because it's fresh water. If it's not fresh, they'll check it out and they'll leave. But again, no oil, no vinegar, nothing like that. Our ants cannot swim, so you don't need a ton of water. We just don't want it to dry up during the day. Look at that. We're going to hold it and we're going to set it up. And then we could do this now or later. You can sometimes get it all set up like this and then go out and see how big do you really want it. In other words, the wire. But again, take your soldering iron. This really isn't sharp, this plastic. And just go all around the edge and it will smooth it out. And there it is. We're going to go ahead and run it underwater so everything sets. And that's how it's going to hang. Now you're going to fill it with more water when you take it outside. But look at that. Cold water really sets everything up. So as soon as you got it the way you want it, because it will stay warm for a long time. But once you put it in water like this and put cold water in, it sets up instantly. Now I've decided how long I want it. I am cutting off the end. I'm going to make my little hook there. And this is just the greatest thing. Can you imagine 2 of them out of a soda bottle? And again, we're going to make our hook. And I want you to understand before you cut it to look where you're hanging it because you may want it shorter or longer. And that's all you need to do. We can take our hot glue and put it at the end in case you think it's sharp. It's like dipping it in plastic. You know how you buy something and it might be sharp and they have it dipped in plastic? Well, you do it with the hot glue, especially this hot glue. And that's it. We're done. We have made 2 ant moats, and they look pretty, and they're not going to dry out. And oh, by the way, go back afterwards when you're all done and go on the bottom and put it around the wire. A little extra support. But that's it. 2 ant moats out of 1 bottle. And I want to show you this. This is out of a water bottle, just some wire I had here. This thing's about 5 years old, and I still use it. A water bottle. So you can use a shampoo bottle. You can use any food grade bottle you've got, anything you want. But the point is, don't buy it. Make your own. Let me tell you something. It's worth it. And I hope I'm giving you tips. Make an ant moat if you need it. It's fun and easy. So I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you know now how easy it is to make your own ant moats. And you know what? You can use a shampoo bottle, any food container, whatever you've got. You now know the technique on making it from the top like most of us do, but now you know how to use the bottom of a bottle and make it that way too, so it's nice and secure. It will hang out there and keep those ants, when they come on down, they cannot cross. Why? Because our ants in the United States do not swim. So there is one species in Australia that do, but we don't have them here yet, so we don't have to worry about it. So this will work for you. With that, have a wonderful day. Go make an ant moat. Hey, make them for your friends too. Give them as a gift. They'll be so happy. And well, they look pretty. I think they're nicer than the ones you buy. With that, have a great day, and don't forget to eat what you grow. Bye-bye.